Josh Abrams is in jail for 3 to 5. Calm down, calm down. See what's happened now? Sancho's gone. Oh, hell's breaking loose. Shit's happening. Since Sancho's been gone.
God help us all.
Grand jury on Monday night decided not to indict Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of Michael Brown. Here's a look at the events that unfolded leading to the decision. On August 9th, 18-year-old Michael Brown and a friend were walking down the middle of a residential street in Ferguson, Missouri, when local police officer Darren Wilson instructed them to move onto the sidewalk. What happened next is what the grand jury attempted to piece together in order to reach its ruling. But what is known is Mr. Brown, who was unarmed, was shot 6 times and killed. Some witnesses in the area claimed he had his hands in the air, but the St. Louis police chief said there was a struggle in the police car and Mr. Brown reached for Officer Wilson's gun. Mr. Brown's body was left in the street for several hours, sparking outrage in the predominantly African-American community. Protests erupted on August 10th and looters destroyed the local convenience store. Police arrest 32 people. About 300 police officers from other jurisdictions joined the Ferguson police. Police and protesters continued to clash for several days. The fact that Michael Brown was black and Darren Wilson was white gave the clashes a racial overtone. The 53-officer police force in Ferguson only had 3 black officers at the time of the shooting, and many residents argue the police used racial profiling. In 2013, 86% of police stops were for African Americans, but they make up only 63% of the population. August 12th, President Obama first addressed the incident.
I know that many Americans have been deeply disturbed by the images we've seen in the heartland of our country as police have clashed with people protesting. I've already tasked the Department of Justice and the FBI to independently investigate the death of Michael Brown.
On August 14th, Governor Jay Nixon put Missouri Highway Patrol Captain Ron Johnson in charge of policing. And on August 15th, police finally released the name of Darren Wilson.
The officer that was involved in the shooting of Michael Brown was Darren Wilson. He's been a police officer for 6 years, has had no disciplinary action taken against him.
They also released surveillance footage of a robbery moments prior to the shooting and named Mr. Brown as the suspect. Reports have conflicted on whether Mr. Wilson stopped Mr. Brown because of the robbery, with Ferguson Police Chief Thomas Jackson initially saying it was not related. On August 16th, Governor Nixon announced a curfew for Ferguson residents, but the protests continued. Police drew national attention for their military-style equipment and so-called 5-second rule, where protesters were told not to stand still for longer than that or face arrest. On August 18th, the National Guard was brought in. By August 20th, the protests had grown more peaceful when the grand jury deliberations began. Michael Brown's funeral was held August 25th.
Michael also stated to the family that one day the world would know his name.
Protesters declared Ferguson October and demonstrated at baseball games, campuses, and the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. On On November 17th, as the grand jury grew closer to a decision, Governor Jay Nixon again declared a state of emergency, and protesters geared up for demonstrations. But Michael Brown's father has urged for calm and nonviolence following the decision.
I do not want my son's death to be in vain.
Documentary by filmmaker Jason Pollock, which premiered at the 2017 South by Southwest Festival, shows previously unseen surveillance footage captured at a convenience store the night before Michael Brown was fatally shot by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014. The film challenges the police narrative of what they say happened on the day of Brown's death. Pollock says this newly released footage shows Brown exchanging drugs for merchandise with employees of the convenience store, which he ultimately leaves behind the counter at the store.
Mike traded the store a little bag of weed and got 2 boxes of cigarillos in return. He left his items at the store and he went back the next day to pick them up. Mike did not rob the store.
The documentary investigates the death of Brown, an unarmed 18-year-old who was killed by Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson in August of 2014. His death and the decision by a grand jury not to charge Officer Wilson sparked protests in Ferguson, Missouri, and around the country. In May of 2015, the Brown family filed a wrongful death suit against Officer Wilson and the city of Ferguson. That trial is scheduled for May of 2017. Years-old surveillance footage shows that on the following day, the day of Brown's death, an altercation took place between Brown and store employees. Pollock's theory: the altercation was the result of a misunderstanding between Brown and store employees about the merchandise he received as part of the trade, not an attempt to rob the store, as Ferguson police allege. Police have said that Officer Wilson wasn't aware of the alleged robbery when he stopped Mr. Brown. Jake Hansler, an attorney for the Ferguson market, called the documentary filmmakers' claims
100% false. Okay? It did not occur.
St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Robert McCulloch said in a news conference on Monday that the documentary was clearly an attempt to distort this and turn it into something it isn't. Pollock says he did not edit the footage, and the Associated Press reports he called McCulloch a master at deception.
Around noon, Dorian Johnson said he and Brown were walking down this street when a Ferguson police officer confronted them and told them to use the sidewalk. The officer then stopped his car only inches away from the pair and tried to open his door, but the door bounced off the pair and closed on the officer. A struggle ensued, and that's when the officer, 28-year-old Darren Wilson, drew his weapon and fired the first round, hitting Brown. The two ran off, and Wilson continued after them. Johnson says he next hid behind the first car he saw and witnessed the officer get out of his vehicle, follow Brown, and fire at the fleeing team. According to Johnson, an injured Brown next got on his knees and put his hands up to indicate he had no weapon. The officer continued shooting at Brown several times. Ferguson police offer a different account. Police say Wilson initially stopped the pair for jaywalking and was unaware Brown was a robbery suspect. It wasn't until Wilson saw the stolen items in Brown's hand that he backed up to question the men further. Police said Brown physically assaulted Wilson and during the struggle reached for the officer's gun. One shot was fired in the car, followed by several more, which led to Brown's death. An independent autopsy contracted by Brown's family revealed he was shot at least 6 times. Only 3 of the bullets were recovered from his body. He was shot 4 times in the right arm and twice in the head. One of the 2 bullets entered the top of his skull, suggesting his head was bent forward when he was shot. Another went into his right eye, through his face, exited from his jaw, and re-entered his collarbone, causing several wounds. The autopsy also found Wilson fired the fatal shots from 1 to 2 feet away.
Some kind of tussle going on here. So
you saw somebody at the window of the police car?
Yes.
The police officer was still in the vehicle?
Yeah, inside the vehicle. So like I said, it was some kind of tussle going on. He also had a friend also. He runs on the side of the car because all of a sudden they just takes off running. After the tussle,
Right.
They just takes off running.
Now, did you know Mike Brown?
No.
Okay.
No,
So you didn't
I seen him, around or whatever. So
but it was Mike Brown at the vehicle.
yes.
And you said there was a tussle. Was there? How long did it go on for that you saw?
Seconds. 10 seconds, I should say. So
Did
not
you
long at all.
see
I didn't.
what the tussle was around? Did you see was one person being pulled in or pulled out?
No, he was just exactly at the window. I mean, it may look like he was trying to get away or something.
You couldn't tell exactly what was going on.
Yeah, but I just seen some kind of tussle going through the window.
Okay.
So, but like I said, he has a friend also, and he was standing like in the front of the police cruiser on the bumper side, on the passenger side, but like 5 feet away from it though. And like I said, all of a sudden they just take off running. Mr. Brown, he just runs directly down in the middle of the street, and his friend, it was a car that was parked on the sidewalk. The Ferguson cop, his vehicle was in the middle of the street, diagonal. So like I said, they take off running.
Had there been a shot when there was still that tussle in the police car?
I didn't hear the shot. I didn't hear the shot. Quite a few people that was around said they heard a shot go off in the car. Maybe,
but the important thing is what you heard. You did not hear it.
Right. So I definitely didn't hear that.
Okay.
So like I said, his friend takes off running, and like I said, the parked car was on the sidewalk, and like I said, it's probably like 5 feet away from the police cruiser in the middle of the street. So like I said, it just takes off running, and I see the officer gets out of his car, emerge, and just immediately starts shooting. So let me see.
You're saying he immediately started shooting. You're saying he didn't say anything. He didn't.
Like I said, I didn't hear because everything. I'm still in the window.
Okay.
I'm still in the window. So when he gets out the car, I see the first shot as Mr. Brown. Like I said, he directly in the middle of the street, running with his back turned, running away, and he's probably about 20 feet down. And his other friend, he's around the car on the trunk side of it. So I see him, looking up at the cops just to see where he's at. But when he gets out the car, he lets out like 1 or 2 shots. But at that time, he's already past his own police vehicle. And Mr. Brown's friend, where he ran to, as he was in his gun shooting range, position, he walked past the vehicle to where his friend ran to. So I think that the officer knew where his friend is. But I'm just saying that it showed me that he wasn't shooting at his friend.
Did you see? You said there were 1 or 2 shots. You think?
Yeah, the very first one. The first one when he gets out.
Did you see if Mike Brown was hit by any of those shots?
I don't think he was at the time because, like I said, he was 25 feet down. So obviously he was still running.
Right, because we don't know. The autopsy said that there were at least 6 shots that hit Mike Brown, but we don't know how many shots may have been fired, if there were other shots that were fired, if other bullet casings have been collected. We don't know.
Right.
So you said you heard 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I definitely seen 1 or 2, but like I said, he still have his back turned, and I noticed that he passed his friend up to where his friend ran to. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna run outside with my phone and see what I could get. So I runs outside so quick. About the time I gets outside, he's already turned around, facing the officer. He's balled up. He have his arms like under his stomach, and he was like halfway down, like he was going down. And the officer lets out about 3 or 4 shots at him. So like I said, just like the body, I took a few pictures in the video, but how his body is on the ground, just like with his arms tucked in. That's how he got shot or whatever. But like I said, before he went down, he was already like this, and he took like 1 or 2 steps going towards the officer, and he, like I said, let go about 3 or 4 more shots at him. And
you're saying it's your impression that he was essentially falling down onto the ground or going down onto the ground, not because there is an account by a friend of or allegedly a friend of the officer, said that the officer is claiming, and sources with the investigation back this up, is what the officer's claim is that Mike Brown was running toward the officer. Did you see him running toward the officer in any way?
No, not after when he was running away. No, not at all.
There was a gap in what you saw because you were moving.
Yeah, and on top of that, and there was also a gap from the officer pausing as he was shooting. Because like I said, I'm in the window, and he shoots a couple of times. And by the time I gets outside, he's shooting again. So I really didn't hear a shot between a running. He probably did, maybe.
You don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
This entire thing about how quickly from the time you first heard what sounded like a tussle and started seeing that tussle to the time Mike Brown was down on the ground, how long do you think?
It was, how should I say? I was definitely say it was some seconds, not even a minute.
It all was quick.
Yeah, it was just quick.
Take me back to the moment when you see a tussle at the police cruiser. What was going on? What happened?
Okay, well, from my point of view, I could not tell exactly what was going on, but it just looked as if he was trying to pull him almost into the car.
Who pulled? The officer pulled Michael into
Brown.
the car.
It just looks like he was trying to do such, and Brown being a bigger fella, that didn't seem to have been working. So of course he got away, and it just seemed to have upset the officer.
And then what happened?
Got out his van and just started chasing after the boy. I'm hearing shots fired. Clearly none of them hit him, but one I think did graze him, as they say on the autopsy report. And at the end, he just turned around after, I'm guessing, he felt the bullet graze his arm. He turned around and then was shot multiple times. And
the autopsy is now showing that he was shot from the front, not the back.
Exactly.
Does that square with what you saw?
Definitely, because he was running away. So when he turned towards the cop is when he let off the most shots.
When he originally stopped, he was going to get on the ground, but he didn't. When he stopped, he turned and faced me. And the stutter step that you sometimes see, like when people start to run and they kind of did the hop and then go, he does that. And as he does that, his right hand immediately goes into his waistband and his left hand is a fist at his side, and he starts charging me.
What did you think when you saw that?
I didn't know. I mean, my initial thought was, is there a weapon in there? Is there a knife? Is there a brick? What's in there? Why is your hand going there? And we're taught to let me see your hands.
As you know, some of the eyewitnesses have said when at that moment when he turned around and put his hands up.
That would be incorrect.
No way?
No way.
So you say he starts to run, does a stutter step, starts to come towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And?
At that time, I gave myself another mental check. Can I shoot this guy? Can I? And the question I answered myself was, I have to. If I don't, he will kill me if he gets to me. He's already overpowered me once. If he gets to me, I will not survive.
Even though he's, 35, 40 feet away?
Once he's coming that direction, if he hasn't stopped yet, when's he going to stop?
So you've already fired twice. He starts to come towards you.
After he's coming at me and I decide to shoot, I fired a series of shots and paused.
What did you see?
I noticed at least one of them hit him. I don't know where, but I saw his body kind of just flinch a little. And after that, I paused and I again yelled, stop, get on the ground, giving him the opportunity to stop. And he ignored all the commands and he just kept running. And so after he kept running again, I shot another series of shots. And at least one of those hit him because I saw the flinch. And he stopped. I stopped and I said, get on the ground, get on the ground. Well, this time he's about 15 feet away. So I start backpedaling because he's just getting too close and he's still not stopping after, from what
you were backpedaling?
Yes, away from him. Because I was like, he's already running through these shots. I mean, they weren't phasing him. It didn't matter to him. And he was looking through me. And as he gets to that 15 feet after I fired the second round of shots, he gets to about 8 to 10 feet. And as he does that, he kind of starts to lean forward like he's going to tackle me. And 8 to 10 feet is close. I mean, if he's going to tackle me, he's going to tackle me at that point. And I looked down my barrel of my gun and I fired, and what I saw was his head, and that's where it went.
So he's down now?
Yes.
You know he's dead?
Yes. Whenever I had actually seen that bullet go into his head, and I actually saw that, and I saw the face that he had go blank. Everything was just blank. And when he landed, he had fell face first and actually slid on his face and upper body. And as he did that, his feet had come up in the air from all the momentum he had from running at me. And then when it came to rest, his feet then collapsed. And I knew immediately that he had passed.
Protesters gathering in Ferguson tonight. That demonstration began in front of the Canfield Green Apartments, where 18-year-old Michael Brown was shot and killed by former officer Darren Wilson back in 2014. Those protesters then marched to the Ferguson Market, which is the view you're seeing right now from Bommarito Automotive Skyfox. Some of them are currently in front of the market. We hear that they may be heading to the Ferguson Police Department later this evening. So this all comes after St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell announced this afternoon that he had been re-examining this case. At the press conference this afternoon, Bell announced that he will not be filing charges against Darren Wilson.
Yeah, the re-examination of the case was not made public until today. Fox 2's Jeff Bernthal is live in Clayton, where Bell revealed his findings. Jeff?
He held a news conference inside the courthouse and said this is all about the law. He said the decision has nothing to do with public pressure or public opinion. County Prosecutor Wesley Bell faced immediate criticism after announcing a 5-month-long reinvestigation into the shooting death of Michael Brown will result in no charges against Darren Wilson.
You lied, bro. We knocked them doors for you. It's over. This is your first and last term.
The county prosecutor said his heart breaks for the parents of Michael Brown because he knows this was not the result they were looking for.
This is one of the most difficult things I've had to do as an elected official.
An attorney for Michael Brown's father released a statement soon after his client met with Bell to learn charges would not be filed. He did not leave there happy. Anything short of justice, Wilson being held criminally responsible, would be disappointing. During his news conference, Bell said Brown could still be alive if Wilson would have acted differently at several points along their interaction, but said his office could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Wilson committed murder or manslaughter.
But by Missouri law, we would also have to disprove any self-defense claims beyond a reasonable doubt. And we just could not get there with the evidence as it is. And there are times when we want a different outcome. There's a time when the community wants a good outcome, but we have to follow the law. I raised my right hand when I took this job. I swore an oath to uphold those laws, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what we did in this case.
Some of the individuals who protested Wilson's actions hope to change Missouri's laws.
We need to move from protest to policy. That the community, advocates, activists need to begin to look at the policies that impede justice.
Now, Bell said his office has already implemented a number of reforms, will continue to do so moving forward, including an independent unit that investigates use of force by police. He said his office will also offer support to families affected by use of force by police.
The Brown family came out with a statement last night where they said, "We are profoundly disappointed that the killer of our child will not face the consequences of his actions." What do you think when you hear that?
I think those are grieving parents who are mourning the loss of their son. Not only is there anything they could say, but again, I'm sorry that their son lost his life. It wasn't the intention of that day. It's what occurred that day. And there's nothing you can say that's going to make a parent feel better.
It sounds like you don't think you were responsible.
I did my job that day.
The longer they stare, another damn year. The snow crunches softly like glass underfoot. The time since they knocked makes it hard to stay put. I know you won't see me, but I need you to see me. Why not disappear? The rumble of traffic will hide their descent. A knock at the window will steam through the vent. A sharp burst of fear, a rustle of curtain, they stare eye to eye. The grey of his iris, the snow-tinted sky. I know you won't see. me. No, you won't see me.
All right, everybody, there it is. Thank you to everybody for hanging in there. A lot of editing, a lot of work put up together. Actually, if you need my email, you can simply do !email from now on, and my email will forever show up. Special guest. Is this Shovel Boy or is this Bucket Boy?
This is Bucket Boy.
I thought you were going to come in as Shovel Boy.
Not tonight. Not tonight. We're going to do it as a surprise guest on somebody else's channel later on.
Do you have a access to the chat right now?
I could.
I need you to look at public chat. I have a gift for you.
Okay.
So I have a partnership with Streamlabs. Only the cool people like Shiva and me have a partnership with Streamlabs. It's only the cool people. And we have the ability to tell this moderator to do and say whatever the hell we want. It's a robot, essentially.
Nice.
But on Fridays and Saturday nights, they're paid people. They're real people that we tell to do things and they do it. So I'm going to do !bucket right now. And I want you to look at the chat and tell me what you see. Hey, Taco.
Hey. Yeah, I see an exclamation in the bucket.
All right. What's going to happen after that, do you think?
Here's the kicker.
Look at that. So every time you come in my chat room, anybody can do !bucket, and Streamlabs will say, "Here's the kicker."
Great.
Aren't you honored by that?
I feel great by that.
I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
Feel great by.
Uh-oh.
That's the marijuana virus. That's not the corona.
You just came back, my guy. I don't need you dying on me. Taco, what do you think about that? What do you think about the video? The Bucket didn't watch the video because he was live on his channel, so I can't ask him his opinion. He was the inspiration of this story today because we were on the phone yesterday and he popped in and said, "Hey, did you hear about the Michael Brown?" And I didn't hear about it until Bucket told me what happened. So I told him, I said, because of you, I'm going to do this stream tonight on Michael Brown and the whole story, the myths, the facts, everything on Michael Brown and his death. Do we say his murder? Do we say his death? How do we phrase it, Taco?
He was murdered.
You know, I liked the video more than I thought I was going to. It was more balanced than I thought it was going to be. So,
well, the balance
anyway,
part's very important. The big question lingers is about the convenience store the day before. Was there a drug transaction? The DA has shot that down, but the evidence looks pretty good. There's a baggie of weed in one of the store clerks' hands. It's not the same store clerk who was there the following day, but doesn't look like, and we all know how the media controls the narrative and how the media wants you to think a certain way. So they're going to go out of their way and say anything they can to make one side look horrendous. Look at what the DA was doing with all the eyewitnesses. They were going over the criminal background and a thief and a list and a this. Why should you trust that person?
Right.
That's the game.
Right. What did the final report say on that? I don't know.
Well, 6 shots. That's one of the big things that really points out, in my opinion, is 6 shots. Multiple eyewitnesses reported that he did run away, but he did turn around and not even take 2 steps before he collapsed because he was already wounded when he was shot when the car was approached. The biggest debate is how was the car approached? There's 2 debates here. The first debate is essentially the police officer was not answering to the robbery charge for the convenience store. He simply saw him jaywalking. Let that register right now. Michael Brown is dead over jaywalking.
But if he, from what I understood in the video, he reached into the car.
So here's the two narrative reports. What the police officer essentially said was he drove by, gave them a friendly warning. They essentially told him to go fuck off. He essentially pulled up next to them, and then Michael Brown went to reach for the gun. That's why there was a struggle. That's why he shot Michael Brown. Michael Brown, despite being shot, 2 shots were out of that car. 1 shot hit him. He ran about 20 feet, turned around, and then the report is he was on the verge of passing out, and he got shot in his head. But there were other shots in between then, 6 of them.
Right.
That could have hit you. That could have hit me. That could have hit anybody, one of those shots. These shots, guys, they don't have GPS on it. They're not computer programmed to go after a specific person. That's
Right.
the dangerousness of these bullets being fired.
I thought they did.
It's recklessness. It legitimately is beyond recklessness. And it's a problem. We saw it in the body cam footage like the other night with the officer at the panic attack, shooting around like wildly, like coyote. We have a problem with the lack of proper training for law enforcement officers. This is just another example.
But it's all you also got to understand. It's adrenaline and the split second situation. I think that also comes into play, and no amount of training is going to train you for that.
They have tasers strong enough to hit Bucket Boy and me and Michael Brown. You know, they got tasers strong enough to like subdue pretty much anybody.
But tasers are not 100%.
But let's try
they
it.
won't go.
Let's try it. Let's see if it works, and then if it doesn't work, maybe we'll go to option B and option C. But
Once he reached inside that car,
allegedly, eyewitnesses reported that did not happen. He did not reach over.
the final report says he did. So I don't know.
According to the police officer. According to the police officer. In the video, there were multiple witnesses stating there wasn't a struggle.
But there was
essentially what the eyewitness reported when he was there, because he was the other one there. There was two people there. One's dead, one's not. The one who's not dead essentially reported that the officer drove by, swore at them, backed the car up, almost ran them over. Michael Brown decided to shut the door because the officer swung it open, and he goes, "What the fuck are you going to do to me?" That's the alleged part. But then there was no struggle to the point where a gun was being alleged, was what the defense side is saying. I need to preface that. I'm trying to, I'm being fair and balanced here. What the Michael Brown camp is saying, what the witness is saying, I'm sorry, is that there was no reach for a gun.
Because the guy Anderson Cooper interviewed said that he had reached in the car.
One witness said he reached for a gun, or he reached in the car.
Reached in the car.
Right. Doesn't mean he reached for a gun, though. That's.
Hey, Sancho.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie The Hate They Gave Us?
No.
Basically, it's a story about these teenage kids at a party, right?
Right.
Shots broke out. One of the kids was a drug dealer. Had a tough life in the hood. No father, no mother, really, I guess. Right? Lived with his grandmother. They got pulled over, him and the girl. And he got pulled out the car. He went in, reached in his car for the hairbrush, came out, seen it on camera and everything that was a hairbrush, got shot and killed in the show. So how do you know if he was reaching for a hairbrush, a gun? You know what I mean? I understand you got to take precautions, but you don't fire at will right away.
Well, the reason why he's stating he fired multiple times is he's alleging that Brown reached for his waistband, which he believed was for a gun, which he never had. The shorts were beyond.
Was there ever a gun found on the scene? I don't think so.
There was no gun. There was no gun. His shorts were so low, his ass, his whole ass was showing. There was no reason. There was no way to have a gun packed when you're sagging. I don't think that's possible, Bucket. Is it? If you're sagging to have a gun?
I don't see.
Without having a belt on. If you have a belt on, he didn't have a belt on. And the only shots that was done to him were all in the front, not in the back. I see you. I'm glad you got some, wraps. Hopefully, I mean, you living in Rhode Island, you don't have the same issues that other states have with flavored wraps now, you motherfucker.
Well, if he got shot in the back, everyone would be saying how dare he shot, he shot him while he was running away.
Right. But the situation is this. 6 shots is, in my opinion, excessive.
That's pretty standard. They usually fire multiple shots to make sure
That's
the
a good
subject
point.
is down.
That's a good point. Yes,
I
it
was
is.
just reading that too from Carl before you put it up. I was writing it down on my bottom right corner of my screen.
Yeah, I'm smoking way too much because of Bucket Boy. He's a bad influence on me. He's a horrendous influence on me.
Here we go, guys. Bucket Boy comes back to the El Sancho show and gets blamed for being a bad influence.
You haven't ever been on the Sancho show. It was called something else on that other network. This is the real El Sancho show. This is the real
Yeah.
like video
Here
graphics.
comes Bucket Boy back around to Sancho and he gets blamed for being a bad influence.
Oh, you are. You motivated me to get a whole bunch of weed today. What are you talking about?
Hey, I was also motivating you to come share it.
Right. So okay. So let's go back. See, you see how we're going back and forth, Taco?
I agree. Yeah, either way, it's a shame a life was lost.
Do you think? I mean, his claim in the interview, he was just doing his job. He was following protocol. His only option was to shoot because he felt like his life was at risk. Do you believe?
Yeah.
Do you believe that narrative?
I believe he could have believed that.
But why is it that they shoot to kill then? Why can't they shoot in the knees, the ankles, the legs, the calves, the thighs? Why is it always the chest up?
You continue firing until the threat is eliminated. That is the rule. It depends on the level of threat. I mean, according to the officer.
No, I always got told there's a shoot to kill and a shoot to take down.
But he felt his life wasn't
It's hard
threatened.
to aim for. It's so hard to aim for a leg or anything like that. You aim for center. You always
don't kill him.
You always aim for center torso.
Here's the analogy I use. Has anybody ever fell backwards and they try to reach for something as a reflex?
Yep.
If your life is threatened, you'll do whatever the hell you can for it not to be threatened again. And I think that's what happened here.
I hear you.
The biggest question is, was his life really threatened? With how far the distance was at one point, a taser could have been administered. Or rubber bullets. Or let's see what else they had. What other options are on the menu besides
Rubber bullets?
What else did they have is the question. That's what I want to know. What else did he have on that belt of his besides a gun and besides a taser? Yeah, 300 pounds. But if you tase him in the nuts, I'm pretty sure he's going to go down. And that is a better option than what was used.
But you're also talking about a situation that had gone from what was him possibly reaching into a car to the end of the shooting, which was 35 seconds.
Sure.
So, I mean, it had to be quick thinking to begin with.
And like CJ said, the cop did say he didn't know if he had a weapon. So how threatened can you feel if you did not know whether or not somebody had a weapon or not?
You can't fire 6 rounds in a few seconds, see, John. That's a really good point. And that's something to really... It's difficult to know what an officer would do unless you're in those boots. Unless you're in those boots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the one thing I always stress is until you're in that position, you really never know how you're going to react. And it's easy for you and me to be an armchair quarterback and say, well, here's what I would do in this situation. But how realistic is that really?
Right.
Really? How realistic is that? I do agree with what the ending of the video. Protest needs to turn into policy. I've been having some behind the scenes talks with Bucket about trying to get some shit changed in his area.
Facts. Big shit's gonna be happening in my area, guys.
He's got some issues over there, and I think a rally will be happening in Providence, Rhode Island. Taco, are you in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts area or no?
Nope, I'm in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Hey, Sancho, want to hear something crazy?
Yep.
Randomly tonight on my stream, I had my cousin on.
Yep.
I wasn't even expecting him. And did you see that part of the stream?
No, I was already live, and then I saw you went live, and I'm like, hey, let me.
Yeah. So my first 15 minutes of my stream, I basically had my cousin in there telling his side of what he see with me and Ripta. Guys, you gotta go check that video out. Go check out all my Ripta videos. It's getting crazy out here.
Mods, if someone can plug Bucket's channel in the chat, please, thank you. I haven't seen a lot of mods tonight. Well, it's just I see Murpha. What's up, Murpha? Is Murpha the only mod? I'm
a mod. I have my other
mod up on channel, so you're a little busy right now. So hey, fuck it, it's a free for all. Let's post the rules, by the way, in the chat. Bucket, do you want to help read the rules that Streamlabs is about to read over to you?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, these are the rules of the chat. You have been a mod before, so you know rules, and you have a rule book. We have a rule book here. There it is.
So 1, there's no doxing. Absolutely none of that shit. No personal attacks. No vicious lists.
Fictitious.
Fictitious lists.
Like fiction? Fiction?
Yes.
Fictitious.
Yes. No slurred speech, so you can't be drunk. If you get contact high from Joe Cool in chat, not my problem. Or Bucket Boy.
Well, you're not in chat. Taco might
I'm on stream. So
he might be getting contact high. Like Taco might. But so Mr. NJ, how do we move forward, Taco and Bucket, as far as policy changing and getting the laws to be stricter in a situation like this where the laws would favor Michael Brown's family and the millions of people who are on the side of Michael Brown? Oh shit!
I don't necessarily think it needs to favor the family. I think it goes down to
it needs to be a favor for the people.
I think it comes down to it needs to be more community focused, and it needs to. I think there needs to be more of a focus on schools and like having the police in the schools as like a support, not like, being an authority, but rather being almost like a father figure type thing where.
That's why I say no police officers and more therapists in schools.
What was that? I missed that.
I said, and that's I say no police officers in schools, and put therapists and more guidance counselors in, so they have more support.
I think it should be they should have all three, but like have the officers be more of a father support for some of these kids, because a lot of these kids don't have a father support at home. They need some role models, and I think if they had more police interaction in a positive way, there wouldn't be a negative interaction in the future.
So here's the poll results so far. Should Officer Darren Wilson have been charged? We have 3 votes saying yes, 2 votes saying no. 0 people are undecided. More people are hopping in the chat now, so we're going to get a bigger result. So we only have 5 votes.
Where can I vote?
You can vote in the chat. You can do ! Vote. How do you vote, Taco? What the fuck? Vote no or vote yes, right?
Yeah, ! Vote and then space yes or no.
Yep, or undecided. But that's the live chart right now. Whoa, we just got another vote for yes. It seems like the chat is it seemed like to me that they do a vote just changed. Well, we just got a no vote. It seemed like the chat is pro no vote, honestly.
Hello?
Are you on the phone, Bucket?
Nope. I was pausing your video from YouTube so I can go vote.
Well, you don't need to watch my video because you're on the panel.
I know, that's why I had to pause it.
Yeah.
On the YouTube side.
We will be going live after this stream from Revolution Hall in Portland, Oregon. Mr. Kevin David Williams just messaged me. He's back. So after this show, we will be going live from Portland, Oregon.
Portland is just a mess.
Yes, it is. Apparently, Extra Good the Citizen is in Portland, Oregon, by the way.
Can we get me out there?
Can we get Bucket out there? Would you be in fear of your safety if you went?
Definitely not.
He would just smoke all the weed in Portland.
Well, that's what they're there. There's a lot of weed in there. It tastes like spicy taste because of all the gas mask.
In the federal building, we can all get contact high from the fumes.
Well, from the pepper spray and all that stuff, it smells like spicy, like the air spicy.
Taco.
But it smells like contact. It smells like weed, so you get contact high really quick. I told John Gray in his chat tonight. I told him today, I'm like, you're going to get contact high. I hope you've smoked before. Because you and I know, Bucket, we've hung out with people who don't smoke often. My brother's one of them. I got a volcano bag. Do you know what a volcano bag is? It's one of those 12-foot bags. And we blew that shit up. 3 of us smoked it. He had a straight up panic attack. He straight up ran upstairs, ran to my wife, yelled for help, yelled for an ambulance, ran outside, wanted to get my neighbors. Someone call a paramedic, screaming. I had to slap him in his face. He was high as a kite for the whole night. I'm afraid John Gray is going to be like that tonight. Just saying, John. He's in the chat too, so just saying. So we're 50-50 right now. We got 4 votes for yes, 4 votes for no. We have a dead tie. Taco, I'm going to give you your chance because you voted no, correct?
Correct.
So here's what we're going to do. Like Bucket voted yes. So I'm going to have Taco go first on why you voted no, and then Bucket, you're going to go after Taco on why you voted yes. Taco, go.
Well, here's the 2 main reasons. One, he went inside the police car, and that started the whole thing. And once he turned around and went towards the cop, that caused an aggression that made a split-second decision for that cop to have, and that he had to make a split-second decision on his life, whether or not to take a life. And unfortunately, he had to make a decision to take that life.
Right.
And so with the indictment, they're looking at a murder charge, and they had to rule that they felt it was self-defense and that there was not enough to make an indictment on that charge.
Unfortunately, the Bucket Boy cannot have an opinion because he incorrectly voted. He literally put exclamation point yes. Bucket.
I put space yes.
That's not how you vote. You have to put exclamation point vote space yes.
Oh.
Carl Benjamin also voted wrong.
Did he really? Carl, you voted wrong as well.
Oops.
Everybody's too busy doing exclamation point Bucket because this is what shows up when they do it.
See, at least I'm not the only one.
So we're 4 for 4, Bucket. Okay, well, now we're 5 for 4. So now we're voting to the yes. Bucket, this is your chance to tell us why you voted yes. Should Officer Darren Wilson have been charged?
I said yes because he wasn't even sure if he had a weapon or not. So how could he say he was threatened if he wasn't even sure if he had a weapon or not?
Six to 4. Buckets. Look at this. People are voting. Look at this. 60-40 we got. Oh! What just happened? 2 votes. Right after Bucket's plea, 2 votes went from yes to no. Wait a minute. No is now winning by 1 vote.
What the fuck?
This is crazy, Bucket.
Let's
What's
call
the
it.
voting end?
No, you can only vote once. You can change your vote, but you can only vote once.
No, I'm just saying that. When's the poll end?
Whenever we want it to end. We don't have
No.
to answer anybody. We're in charge.
I say when it gets to 54 past. Or 54 to the chat.
So why don't we give it 9 minutes more? How about that? Because the more people are coming into the chat right now.
We'll give it at the solid hour mark.
So at the midnight mark, we're going to be ending this, and it's a close one, guys. 6-5 right now for no. It's exclamation point vote space, either yes, no, or undecided. You can put undecided. And yeah. So what else is going on?
Can I ask Bucket a question?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, Bucket. You have this guy reach into your car, attack you, and then you shoot at him, and he kind of runs away, and you get out of your car, and then he comes back out you, and he reaches into his waistband. You don't know if he has something or not, but if he does, it possibly could kill you. You have a split second to make a decision whether or not to do something.
It should have been right there. Whether to kill or not. It's the unknown. Like Sancho already said, the unknown should have brought out a non-lethal weapon such as a taser.
But you don't know if you have a non-lethal, but you have that split-second decision whether to save your life and take his life, or take the risk and see if he has something, or go non-lethal. Because non-lethal doesn't guarantee. Huh?
Should have been non-lethal all the way.
Because if he pulls a gun and you pull non-lethal, you're going to lose.
Well, that's always the
how quick you can draw your non-lethal, just like how quick you can draw his gun.
Right. Well, that's always the concern whenever there's a confrontation with law enforcement, is you never know how it's going to go, and there's always the risk of something severely happening. So there's always one side of the fence that says, shut up, stop, comply, do whatever they say. Your night, and then you'll be on your way a lot quicker if you gave an attitude or resisted in just a little bit. Bucket, what's your response to that?
Most likely. But then again, you don't know what he's been through. A, with the law enforcement already. B, what the neighborhood's like with the law enforcement already. Why there's so much hatred already because the neighborhoods will say. So you don't know what the law enforcement do to them on a daily basis either way.
Right, but you also don't know if that law enforcement officer actually went to your downstairs, a neighbor's house who's dead, and responded to the call, and it was a disturbing, bloody scene that would have a toll on anybody. So I can throw it back at you,
Well,
Bucket.
if that's the case, if as far as what I see on shows I watch, like Law and Order, Chicago PD, First 48, stuff like that, when a cop sees a dramatic scene, they are sent for a mental eval, are they not? Or at least be put on leave for the rest of the night?
Billy Sanders, you didn't vote right.
I don't think they're put on a leave.
Well, not a leave, but they at least get monitored.
If they're involved in the incident and they shoot someone, yes.
No, but even if they walk up on a scene.
Not if they report to a really bad car accident or report to a dead infant. They don't take the day off after that. They go.
I'm not saying a day off, but might put on desk duty for the rest of the day. No.
They go to the next call. They have to. It's a lot like working at a store. You have a schedule. You have shifts. You have to cover the shifts. That's how it is with law enforcement. Like there's not like an alternate on the bench waiting to get a call to like go to work. Most of the time they have to go to the next call. It could be slow as hell, and then it could be a giant, drive-by shooting. That's what happens in law enforcement. Do I think it's wrong for a lot of law enforcement to think everybody's bad because of one bad incident or two bad incidents? Yeah, I think that's absolutely bullshit. Do I think there's bad cops out there? Yeah, and I think we need to get rid of those bad cops. The question is, Darren Wilson is stating he did his job. Did Darren Wilson do his job? Yes or no?
I think there was other ways he could go about it.
But if he did his job, he shouldn't be charged because he did his job.
Facts.
So are you going to change your vote?
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
I still stand my ground, bro.
You're on tape saying that he did his job.
I understand he did his job, but the thing is, at the same time, he really could have went other way. It's about doing his job. There's one way, yes, of doing your job, but there's also one way of doing and how to do your job.
He should stay far away from Sancho Court. Far away. Have you seen Sancho Court yet?
Oh, God, no.
Did you see what I did to Liberty Bird?
Let's not put me in Sancho Court here.
I had Liberty Bird's own family taped. He was a fugitive. We caught him, and we duct taped him to a tree and waxed his nipples and his chest. Stay away from Sancho Court. Joe Cool is petrified to go on Sancho Court. I've gotten messages to him, like Liberty Bird was on with him on another panel, and I said, Liberty, you tell Joe Cool that he's going to go for his mouth, for his foul language. It's going to be a felony. He wanted nothing to do with coming on Sancho Court.
Jesus.
He knows it's going to end bad. He knows it's going to end bad. But like with Joe Cool, there's like 50 options on what we could do if he's found guilty. I'm never going to assume that he would be found guilty, but I know his mouth has gotten him in trouble in the past, so there's a potential. But I think the punishment of like Joe Cool has to go to Chuck E. Cheese by himself and play like 10 games would be pretty hilarious, seeing Joe Cool and a bunch of little kids play. Playing whack-a-mole and all these games.
I got a question for you, Sancho.
Go ahead.
These random freaking porn link comments on your videos that you get random with, right?
We all get that.
Okay. Are they like, is it like a fucking order
spam
bot type thing?
It's a spam bot.
It is a bot. Okay.
Spam bot, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say, how many fucking people do this to people? Like, come on now.
It happens everywhere. Everyone's.
No, I know. I was gonna say though, I was a live person every time. Like, Jesus Christ, how many times do you have people doing this?
I mean, did I first couple times? There was really like there was some tits at the 33-second mark of my video. I looked. There wasn't. And I realized it was spam. And now I just have to go to my spam and make sure they got it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it goes through. But every YouTuber, have you had that a lot happen to you, Bucket?
Yep.
Yeah, it's common.
You know how I handle my police interactions?
How do you handle your police interactions compared to how Bucket Boy handles his?
I learned it from Ralphie May, and it was you try to make the officer laugh. Because if you can make the officer laugh, you're going to get out of whatever, trouble you were in. And it works. Because one time I was speeding, and I was in this old beat up like Dodge or Plymouth Neon, and he pulled me over for speeding. He goes, "Do you know why I pulled you over?"
Pulls up.
Yep.
Yeah, Taco.
And he goes, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I go, "I'm gonna guess speeding." He looked at me. He goes, "Do you know how fast you're going?" And I'm like, "I have no clue." He goes, "Why?" He goes, I'm like, "The speedometer only works when I hit it." And he just started laughing.
I got pulled over a few weeks ago. I was on a highway, and there was a tow truck and a police officer, and you have to move to the left lane, which is what I was doing. And in the middle of moving to the left lane, they go from their emergency lights on to the officer decides to essentially pull back into traffic without even looking. So I swerved and essentially almost hit the person. But that was the tow truck driver. I'm sorry. That was a tow truck driver who merged in. The officer was right behind him. So I'm saying to myself, you didn't even signal. You essentially just reared right into traffic without looking. The officer did it too. And I got pulled over for it. And I literally read the statute about the right of way. I says, I had the right of way, sir. I was going straight. You merged into my direction and cut me off. All right, just drive safe. Didn't get a ticket. Because I had to, you gotta, you prove a point. You just can't pull out of a highway and cut people off and think it's okay because you're an officer.
Oh, I got a good one if you want to talk about tickets, Sancho.
Here's the tickets.
Here's the kicker. So I was in Warwick. You know Bald Hill Road?
Yeah.
So I was in Bald Hill Road in Warwick, and I was about to take a right on the toll gate road, right? So I was taking a right. I was just outside my back passenger tire was in the breakdown lane in front of the car dealerships there. And I was basically in my own lane now, in the right turn lane. The cop freaking pulls me over and says, "Oh, you cut me off and almost took off my front end." I looked at the cop, I said, "What are you doing traveling on the breakdown lane that you're hitting me for if you didn't have your emergency lights on?" Well, go fight that in court. Went to Warwick's Municipal Court that night. Not that night, but 2 weeks later, with the court. I said I wanted to fight it. They told me to go talk to the prosecutor in the hallway. Now, I drew out basically where my tire was and where my 3 other tires were and where the lane started. He goes, "Okay." I said, "I had a question for you." I said, "If the officer really says I almost took out his front end, what was he doing traveling on the breakdown lane with all his lights on?"
Right.
He gets hit me with traveling down the breakdown lane. And the prosecutor just looked at me and goes, "Dismissed," and gives me back my license and tells me nothing to be paid for.
I haven't talked to you about this yet. I thought you videotaping your court appearance on your channel was a horrendous idea. Do you have any regrets on that?
Not really, because I still got the same outcome the next time I went in court. And then I ended up taking my court call in Walmart.
You think it might be best if you're at a certain point to not piss them off and not give them a reason to fuck you in the ass?
They did
Guys,
it. They didn't
if
give
you
me
want the
no
panel link,
charges.
exclamation point panel is how to get the link. Anytime you want. Exclamation point AFA you can do. Exclamation point NNE you can do.
What happens if you do those?
You want to do it in the chat? Go ahead.
What happens though?
You tell me by doing it.
Oh, I gotta see.
Whatever one you want to do. We have options, my guy.
I gotta see what's going on with this now.
But do you agree, Taco, with the analogy? If you're at a certain point, it might be best to kind of put your balls between your legs.
Oh yeah.
Not go any further.
I said that to Josh last night.
Yeah.
May I see your face, Sassy, for 2 seconds? I appreciate you, man.
Who was it, Sassy?
Yeah, Sassy Assassin.
How are y'all doing?
Yo,
Hey,
I
well-
don't have you blocked, motherfucker. What you talking about?
Hey, you ain't got me blocked, bro.
He's blocked
What?
everywhere else.
Yeah, I'm blocked everywhere else, no doubt.
They don't
I'm
get his personality.
I'm more censored than anybody else on the whole deal. I have good points, but you know if you know if I don't like you, I'm gonna cause problems, no doubt. But I was just sitting here chilling, and I had some points to go at, but y'all fucked me up.
All right, are you able, the bucket, to read what you put for AFA? I think you did AFA, did you?
No, somebody did that. Do it at an E.
And do you know what it says?
For AFA?
Yeah.
Just for the record, Josh Abrams' dad never had COVID-19. The disgusting viral video is still up and monetized. There is your American hero, Chuck Lovers.
Cuck lovers.
No, his dad didn't have COVID, but his dad had like some other problems. His dad's like really really old, right?
Right, but it wasn't COVID. He claimed after 62 days that it was a blood clot that traveled into the lungs and it was misdiagnosed. But he waited 62 days to say it.
But in his defense, and you know, I'm really not here to defend him. Yeah, I mean it's really a really common misdiagnosed thing right now.
Monetizing it's not common.
Yo, I'm dying over here. Somebody said hashtag Kate, and Streamlabs said, "Who the hell is Kate?"
It's a great question. Why'd you just slap yourself, dude? That really hurt.
That was fucked up.
Dude, did you hear that, Sassy? That was like a good slap fight right there. He's high as a fucking kite. Sassy, he's high as a kite. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at him. Look at him.
What have you done to Bucket, Sancho?
I didn't do anything to Bucket. He's the one who motivated me to smoke a lot of weed tonight. This isn't supposed to be a smoke stream.
The contact high I'm getting from this is hilarious.
I know. I'm worried about people in the chat getting contact high from Joe Cool. And I'm worried about... Oh, wait, Bucket. I think you did another like command. What does that say, Bucket?
It never came up.
Yes, it did. It's right below you, my guy.
Oh, that's for Anthony?
Yeah.
Come on, my panel. And I may be able to get new bottom teeth.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Anytime you want, you can put it on there, my guy.
Y'all motherfuckers high as the motherfucking monkeys in the trees.
Kind of finish the second part of the night.
Second blunt, that's all? You're on your second blunt and you're that high?
Second blunt, 18 bong grips.
Okay, because you're leaving things out too.
Yeah, there's been some other activities.
What are you leaving shit out for, man?
Why, you want Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to come on panel?
I don't know how high I want you to get, man. You're pretty fucking lit right now.
Let's see. I'll open another blunt.
Hey, oh yeah, let me ask you some questions, Bucket, while you're fucking 5 sheets to the wind.
All right, what did I do now?
Listen, Joe Biden, how come your video never blown up? What is it still on your YouTube channel?
Yes, it's still on my YouTube channel.
All right, check this out.
It did kind of blow up for the first like 3 days afterwards.
All right, well,
It was on
listen,
The View.
it's getting a lot closer to election time, and I have some recommendations to get you some view. Listen, I'll get you a lot of traffic on your video. Can I get permission to mirror it to World Star Hip Hop?
Yep.
All right, well, look, what I plan to do is I'll piece together the
So
part
after you hit it, right?
the part that they aired on CNN
Sassy,
or
hold on. Bucket, let him talk. He's helping you, and you're cutting him off. Let him talk. He's helping you. Go ahead, Sassy. Sorry.
he can't help it. He's smoking, bro. He starts laughing. You got to give him a second. Hey, listen, I want to mirror your video to World Star, and I'll edit it for you or whatnot, and I'll give you credit and post the link or whatnot, or I'll share the link to your channel. And if they don't actually produce a link, they'll at least mention your name, and that'll get people over there. It worked for Poor Dirt Farmer, and it'll work for you.
His video blew up.
But look, yeah, his video blew up, and it's not even as significant as yours. There's like plenty of memes about creepy Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? And you should.
I heard the audio of a Poor Dirt Farmer. What the hell is World Star?
Yeah,
he had no idea.
He had no idea. He had like he had two.
The PDF do the same thing.
He had 250,000 views and didn't even know it.
He didn't even know who they were, and he gave them that many views. Holy shit!
And that he was getting props from. This is a racist. Like if you read these comments in the World Star Hip Hop, that's the most of the racist shit you'll ever read in your life. And for him to have props and that type of setting, that's pretty significant.
Hey, Sancho, can I get permission to drop a video in your link in your stream?
Yeah, do you want to put it in private chat? Is it the Joe Biden video?
Yep.
Do you want me to play it?
Please.
Are you proud of that video?
Let's do it. Yes,
I am. I'm proud. I'm proud of him.
I'm proud to be an American because of that video.
Are we able to do Proud to Be an American song over the video?
Hey, Sancho, I'm going to step down, but Bucket, it was great being on the panel.
No, you don't have to leave me alone. You don't have to leave me alone with these two. What are you doing? Stay. You're my designated driver tonight, guy. What are you doing? Like these two
Okay. Okay, I'll stay. I'll stay.
I'm just kidding, Taco. Go ahead.
He's treating us like we're hit handicap or something.
No. He was my designated driver.
Guys, but you know,
We're all high. We're all high right now. I was joking, Taco. You have a good night.
Okay. But Bucket, it was great being on the panel with you. It was fun debating you.
A few more.
Later,
Peace
Taco.
out, guys. Yep. Bye.
You know, I even took a shot bus to the window liquors and I wore a helmet. This is an ice vessel. Yay!
Stuck in the YouTube. What is this? Oh man, I can't smoke and do this. I'm like a 9-year-old.
I can send you the video right now. Nope, hold on.
Hold on. Hello?
Hello there.
Are you good?
I'm awesome. You guys are a bunch of crazy kids, is what you are. But I love it.
Well, welcome to the panel. This is the first time I've had you on. Welcome. We're glad to have you on.
Thank you. Well, I've watched a number of your panels, just with Kenny and everybody else, and I just sat back and stayed quiet, but loving every second of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Bucket, I don't have that link yet.
I'm giving it to you in 2 seconds.
You want it? I'm gonna find it on my own before you find it.
Make a bet?
Well, you got like a 20-second head, like a 2-minute head start. You damn better beat me.
I need you to accept me to share the screen.
Do you know how to share screen?
Yep.
All right, so I can just sit on my fat ass while you go ahead and do your thing.
I guess that's what you would say.
My feet are up. Go right ahead.
Before you start, I just want to say great job on increasing your subscribers on a regular basis.
I'm trying. I'm scratching and clawing.
Yeah, I got 11 subscribers, so you're way ahead. You're doing awesome.
Yeah, I'm about to hit the 2-month mark. I'm scratching and clawing and getting some good interviews lined up.
I've had this YouTube set up for almost 10 years almost, and I've got 11 subscribers. So
It's not easy. It's not
Oh,
easy.
you're killing it, dude.
You are. All right.
It's not
No.
easy, Sassy. It's really not to get noticed and get on a map and get attention.
I got 150 subscribers from talking shit.
It's not bad.
Right, but you
No.
gotta put the work in though and talk to shit though.
Yeah, I did put a lot of work in. That's no lie.
Which can be 6 months, 6 weeks. You know, it really depends on the amount of quality shit you talk.
I mean, I got some good quality shit I talk. I mean, I dropped some knowledge. I dropped some knowledge as well. But if I don't like you, you know, I'm probably gonna pet you backwards because that's the best way to do it.
Well,
Makes
the way I look at it is respect is a two-way street. And if I show respect, I expect respect back. And that's the way I grew up with the ethics is you always give respect and you hope to get it in return.
Do unto others.
Yeah.
Treat others like you want to be
Have you
treated.
found the video, the Biden video?
I stopped like an idiot. Oh, wait a minute. It's right here. Sorry. Now, did you share audio, Bucket?
Yep, I should have.
All right, you want to maximize that bitch?
Can I give some pretense to this?
All right, Bucket. Can he get some pretense to this?
Let me give some pretense, Bucket, because I've watched this. I've watched all the aspects of it. I've watched it on the big mainstream media. They gave him airtime, but they did not mention who he was. They didn't mention anything about what he actually said. The only way you can hear what he said is on his side of the video, and that's why I want him to post it to World Star.
And Whoopi Goldberg asked him the next day in The View or whatever it was on ABC6, where was your Secret Service?
Yeah, literally Joe Biden's wife interrupted this and saved Joe Biden from fucking Bucket Boy. It's crazy.
So you guys ready for this? Sancho, let me know if I did it right.
All right, get on with it, guys. Come on.
Play it.
I rest my case. And my mother would say, God love her.
Joe, do you apologize for touching women and children? Joe, do you apologize for touching women and children? Trump, 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 Trump. Do you apologize, Joe?
We want Joe. We want Joe. You don't come towards me. We want Joe. Sit down. Don't touch me.
Joe, do you apologize for touching women and children? Do you apologize, Joe? Joe, do you apologize for touching women and children? Do you apologize for touching a woman and children, Joe? Trump, hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off!
She looked like Peachy Ryder.
Do you think this helped your blood pressure at all?
What the hell was he trying to accomplish? What was
Bucket,
he
you're on
saying?
mute. You're on mute, Bucket.
Well, man, have you not seen how creepy this dude is? He's got videos out there of him talking about kids touching his legs in pools and how he loves children sitting in his lap. This nigga is weird as fuck, dude.
He literally said that when he's in a swimming pool with kids, the kids like when his hair sticks up because they like to make it go back into smoothness.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he's got some weird stuff out there, bro.
The first question I have is, what is he doing in a little kiddie pool with kids?
Exactly, man. Don't ask me, ask him.
Oh, Jesus.
No, look, the video is out there, man. It's public. Like I just watched that video earlier. I mean, I watch a lot of World Star hip hop videos, and they got a lot of shit on there that's
Should I
clearly
do
revealing.
should I do a stream about this child gate with Joe Biden, or would I get shadow banned if I did that?
Bro, I think you should. And look, I don't even have to be the one that posted the World Star. Now we got Bucket Boy's consent. You can collab with Bucket Boy, and y'all submit the video and give it. You have to give some pretense to what's happening there. But I highly recommend you post the mainstream media version, which they don't reveal what he says, and you can only find out what he says if you know this guy, because the video has no fucking exposure, period. And let me tell you something, Bucket Boy should be way bigger than he is right now, because that's something really important, man. You got this guy running for president, and he is 100% weirdo for real, and he proves it time and time again. And other than that, like why are they hiding it? You know, they're not. They never exposed what Bucket Boy said, but they sure put him on the news and made him out to be a bad guy.
Okay, pardon my ignorance, but what the hell is a child gate? Is that what you said?
I said nothing about Childgate.
I said Childgate because there's a whole mystery of child inappropriate touching.
But yes, yeah, he seems very inappropriate, very creepy. Especially with the other videos that he's come out. Everything he says is really weird. He seems like that type of guy.
Okay, all right. I'm up here in Canada, so I don't get all this news.
Let's put this stream up real quick.
Okay.
Bucket Boy, you tell us what made you what made you say what you said, dude.
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
What the fuck's this shit got to do with roaches?
Jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time. They're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Earl Larkin had a rough time. And some of you knew Earl. I came back as a public defender.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Is he running for president? I'm sorry, my ignorance again. He's running for president?
Yep. And people are voting for him. People are supporting him and dropping millions off in his fucking campaigns.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not a Trump liker either, but I mean, Trump's bad enough. This guy is. Oh boy.
You want your old lady to get grabbed by the pussy, or do you want your kids missing? You know what I'm saying? You take your pick.
Oh, if he's saying this is not what a future president should be saying.
If you put it that
way, it's not what our present president should have said, and he's still made president. I mean, if you ask me, I mean, if you got a president admitting that he sexually assaults women, what the fuck is he the president for?
Well, my thing is this. I would be the biggest hypocrite in the fucking world if I didn't stress, because Joe Biden has never been convicted of any child molestation. We have to say alleged child molestation. I would be a hypocrite if I allowed everybody on this panel in the chat to call Joe Biden a child molester when he's never been found guilty of that.
I'm not saying that he did that. I'm saying that he is creepy. That's all I'm saying.
It was a
He's
PSA.
creepy.
No, it was just a PSA, Sassy. It wasn't directed at you. It was directed to the
Right.
chat, especially the chat.
Disclaimer.
But you know what,
Especially the chat.
Pancho, you should do a stream on this, and
I will. I will.
stream on out and on this guy, because this
All
guy.
right, now can we play let's play the version that from the opposite end that shows that what the mainstream media was showing, because they brought it up the mainstream media, and type in Joe Biden, Jill Biden heckler, and they'll show the opposite aspect, and it's going to reveal that they don't show what he said. There's a reason he said what he said, and that's the whole thing that they're avoiding.
Hold it up right now, guys. Oh, I haven't seen this edited version yet. Oh shit! This is news to me.
Well, I've done my research. I pay attention.
Oh, I did my research back when I first did it.
No video.
Yeah, you gotta share it, bro.
I'm waiting for El Sancho to do that part.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Hey, Margarita.
Hey, I'm about to go. I'm gonna leave y'all with it.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Y'all welcome. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night. Wow.
As you can see, they silenced me right the fuck out of that video. And 90% of the other ones, too. I have no say in the mainstream media.
And as you can see, Sassy Assassin can clearly come on a panel and provide quality content and leave on his own without getting banned and kicked off and treated like shit. And treated like shit.
Right?
He's more than welcome to come back on and provide any verbal vitamins he can do so. Even when he's drunk, he's still smart as hell.
What happened to the right to freedom of speech? I mean, this crazy old man.
I was censored 100% of the way.
And you get pushed out of there, yet everybody else is still there screaming whatever they want to scream. And yet,
I didn't get pushed. I didn't get pushed. I jumped off the ship because I knew it was drowning.
Well, you knew it.
I saw it coming. Like, I saw that iceberg, and I was the first one to tell people this shit's sinking. Nobody believed me. I mean, Bucket knows. Me and Bucket were at war because of how loyal I was to Josh and Brian. And once I caught Josh lying on my own and proved it, I expected him to do the right thing, and I expected News New England to follow through with what he said 24 hours prior, and that didn't happen. And I said, peace the fuck out. And here I am.
Hey, so Sancho, what is Bootlicker talking about?
I don't know. Dear God, help us. That's the best person they have to put up there. I don't know if that's us or somewhere else. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Plus, you also gotta realize, and I told this to CFW as well, and I'm gonna tell this to you, Bucket. It has been well publicized that we had a little bit of a feud. It's going to take some time for my supporters to realize that you're good people, and we're fine now. You have the same loyal people on your side that are like, fuck El Sancho. What do you mean you're talking to him again? That's a normal reaction for how protective they are of you and of me. So you may get a couple people tonight bashing you. Only it's because they're still a little, not happy with how me and you.
No, I don't think he was. I'm just saying I don't understand what he's trying to say. Because earlier, if you read what he said, it went Como Biden,
It could be about Biden. It could be about anything.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because he was talking about Biden earlier, so I was trying to figure out where he was getting at with all of it.
But Matrix was, and Bucket can attest to this because he was around during that. I was the one who had access to StreamYard. I was the one who can create shows on my own. I wasn't a moderator. I was never a moderator on his channel, but I was a YouTube administrator where I can do videos like a couple about Bucket Boy that are still up on that channel. That I did it all on my own. No help from him because he doesn't know how to do video editing or any of that shit. And I had full control, but I saw Josh taking over more and more by the day. And off the record, Brian didn't want that. We agreed to put Josh on Mondays only. Give him Monday night, and that's it. There's too much Josh. Because Brian was seriously affected by the negativity from the chat. He was seriously affected by the thumbs down. He's going to tell you now that he's not. He's lying through your fucking gums. He's lying beyond belief. And I knew it was going to be an issue, and he wanted to be done with Josh at one point. There's videos of it. I mean, shit. My intro that I have, clearly shows. Hold on, let me play that intro for 2 seconds, and then this intro right here.
Josh Abrams is in jail for 3 to 5. Calm down.
See there? I mean, that's a prime example. I was the one who brought them back together during that big fight. But I knew it was going downwards, and I knew it's what it is now, and people are seeing more and more how disgusting and vile it is towards women and human beings. And for anyone to motivate a female to go to a drive-through and talk like sexual like that, it really shows what kind of character that person is as a human being.
True. Very true.
It's vile. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. Especially knowing this person's a mother as well. It's like, come on, show some respect. Like I know there's ball busting. Believe me, I was the one doing karaoke over there. I'm the one who brought karaoke. He was in the hospital that night, and I said, hey guys, let's cheer him up and do karaoke. So I'm the fault for that shit, and I'm okay with busting balls. But when you're calling a female a stupid bitch 15 times, and you're going out, calling them cunts and bitches and scriptedness, no, that's not Sancho. Sancho's a real motherfucker.
Well, there's a lot of crazy idiots out there.
I'm well aware his show can go different directions. I mean, we started off really serious with a 25-minute clip of the Michael Brown situation.
That was excellent, by the way. I like that.
Everyone got their opinion and voted in, and now we're transitioning a little bit to other topics. The chat is there to give us, their opinion, but I saw the writing on the wall, and I interviewed a registered sex offender, and I was never called a pedophile. The second I left the channel, I was called a pedophile.
Of course.
It's coincidence how that works.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like how they're just people that they're just haters. That's all they are.
It does nothing but help my channel because everyone's like, why are we so obsessed with this guy? Let me go over and see why. Oh my God, there's original content on this guy's channel. Holy shit.
This is
original content. We don't have to beg a panel to come on for 25. Oh, let's fight. Let's drama. I have a pacemaker, but let's have drama. No. You got to come up with original content like the body cams and Sancho Cord. And, you got to have original content and a foundation like the Michael Brown case like tonight. That's the foundation for us to kind of go back and forth and share our thoughts and opinions on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, I'm up here in Canada, so we don't have the same kind of political issues that we have. We just, our prime minister's a real strange guy right now. He's gone through a couple of, scandals.
Right.
With the government. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on here, but it's just financial scandals that he got involved with. But there's all this stuff going on down in the States right now. It's scary just to see.
How is it over there with the virus?
We're okay. We shut down like every other bloody country, I mean, I'm just now sort of kind of, getting back to work, but I did lose my main job because of this whole thing. So I'm technically out of work right now. But it's not bad. People are respectful. I mean, I was just over doing. I'm a land surveyor, so I was doing a job the other day that I'm standing with the client and we're just talking, but we don't have masks on. We're 2 feet apart. But if somebody says, "Oh, you step back," you do just step back. You respect that when that happens. You say, "Oh, I'm sorry." If you're not fully consciously aware of what you're doing, right? But we're okay. We're doing okay on that on a lot of levels, right?
I'm going to be doing a Biden stream and a COVID stream. Those are the two things that are on my mind next. I also am going to do a video probably tomorrow or the next day. One of the big things that all these auditors say is, show me a good cop. Have you ever arrested another officer? Well, there's a lot of those cases. And I'm going to show a couple of those clips, pretty much once or twice a week of police officers getting arrested, like police officers getting charged, police officers going away in jail for falsifying evidence and doing all these things. It happens. To go around and say that all cops are bad because they never throw away any bad cops, that's just lies.
I just posted a link in the private comments there. That's Chief Tuttle, the country cop. I've had a lot of long talks with him over the last while. He's a retired officer. I don't know. He's got a new channel that he's putting up. He's making an attempt to put content up. But check him out if you want somebody to reference or talk to.
I might if I can get an email, I'll probably interview the person.
Yeah. Take a look at the channel.
I have a wide channel, it's pretty much whatever I find interesting and whatever the people find interesting.
I mean, our cops up here are pretty damn good. I mean, we don't have
I heard of this guy. He just started Kenny Klein plugged him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Like I've been on Chuck Chases the Facts stream for 8 hours at a time with the chief and Chuck and others, and nice, good long talk. I mean, he seems to, like, as a retired officer, he's on the money, I think.
Is he really a retired officer, though?
That's what he says. You have to take him at his word at this point. Like, I don't know.
Do we?
I don't have to do the research myself directly. But, I mean, if somebody wants to research and triple check them, then fine, go ahead. But, I mean, I don't have a reason not to believe him. He hasn't given me a reason. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just am seeing a lot of people pretend to be law enforcement when they're not.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's like, come on now, really? The Masshole did the story on Indie News on the Street. Every little lead that this guy gave them was a dead end. The bucket, if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, what is it?
It's a fucking duck.
That's right. Well, I mean, if you want to research and just double check that he's a cop, go ahead. I mean, but this is a reference that I know that at least I've talked to,
It's a duck. I mean, like, if you're saying that you served this, and this, and then it checks, and then there's no name that matches that. I'm not saying this guy's not a cop. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
there are others. I know there's been a couple others that I've seen that have claimed to be a cop that have been debunked or disproven that they were.
So we need to help Bucket Boy in a situation.
Yeah.
Bucket is in a legitimate conundrum. There have been times that Bucket has flipped out over things, like his Mountain Dew blew up on him and because he dropped it and he blamed the store clerk, stuff like that. This isn't what we're talking about. We have a legitimate ADA complaint with COVID-19. I don't know if you know, Matrix, but Bucket Boy has a medical exemption where he cannot wear a mask and has a note that states that. But Bucket has been having a lot of frustrations recently with going to places that are refusing him entry because he refuses to wear a mask, despite the fact that he has a letter from the ABA stating that he does not need to. And
my doctor.
Okay. All right. Hold on. What about? Okay, I know the masks are. I have. We got to wear them. It's a pain in the ass. Smoker's cough over here. What about the face shield?
I tried walking into a Walmart with a face shield. They said no, because it's not covering my mouth and nose, and so has the bus.
Oh, and I have. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
It has to cover your mouth and nose.
Well, I told him the other day, and this is when I first started to talk to him, because, there was one point that, me and Bucket had a war because I was so protective of News New England, and I went after him because I was protecting News New England, coincidentally. Look how that worked out. And I told Bucket, I said, listen, tape the letter to your shirt so they read the letter right away and they don't give you shit. Is that a good idea?
That's one way to do it. Is there not a specialized material that you can use?
I'm thinking about getting it vinylized.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the letter. I'm talking about for the mask. Is there not because most masks are made of, this cloth type crap. Is there something else that you can use?
No, because I can't have anything on my face. My asthma acts out, especially in this heat.
Okay. Dude, boy. Ugh. So, and because of this, you're pretty much stuck outside or at home.
The Target. I saw him go to a ferry, and they were giving him shit at the ferry. I see.
Want to play the video?
What?
Want me to play the video?
I saw it.
I'll play it.
Why don't you play the Ripta video of them having some issues with you?
East police on me?
You know what I love, Matrix?
What's that?
Bucket's the one who gave me the idea for the Michael Brown, and it's all about Bucket Boy right now.
That's funny how that worked out, isn't it?
Me and Bucket are actually collaborating on a special secret project right now.
Okay.
And I have some fears that Bucket Boy's name's going to be in the title of our special project, and I hope that that's not going to happen.
And you'll be just the sidekick, basically.
No, I'm behind the scenes.
He
is going to be the voice of the project. He is going to be the marketer, the marketing person of the project. But I am steering him in the right direction, and I may make a couple calls as well. But my concern is,
what the fudge?
Exactly. See what I'm saying? He
So
can't
that's
find
all.
his
Video.
He can't find his own fucking video. This is
brilliant, buddy. This whole medical exemption, like this is legitimate, not just for you, but for probably a whole whack ton of people.
Yes, in the U.S.
That, here you are exempt from following this particular law because of. It's like having a service animal kind of story. Like you are not allowed to be asked, why not take this to your local counselor and say, look, I need something that will help me.
Well, they're working on it right now with me with
You are.
Commission of Human Rights.
Well, yeah, or the Human Rights Commission. Yeah, okay, yeah. But somebody that's got some clout that can not change the law, but help enhance your situation so that you don't encounter this particular BS from the sounds of it.
Let me know when you're ready, bud.
I'm waiting for you to hit that share button.
You gotta tell, or you just fucking did it right now, you cucknut. Don't tell me.
What's going on, y'all? The Bucket Boy News 401 here with my cousin, his girlfriend, and his niece. All to be going to Newport, Rhode Island by the C Street Ferry. But to go enjoy a day out in Newport, guys. Newport, Rhode Island. We're going to get in this line here and see if they give me an issue about being medically exempt or not wearing a mask.
Now, did you have a feeling that they would have an issue?
Oh, I had a feeling. Sorry, I had a
Mr. West, do you know how are you today?
I had a feeling that because they're going to pull a Ripta, yes. They ran by the same department as the guys.
Oh.
I'm medically exempt. Yes, I do. I'm medically exempt. Thank you very much for understanding this. Yes. No problem, miss. I appreciate that. No problem. Thank you for your respect as well. You guys see there's no issues getting on the C Street ferry over here without a mask?
Yeah.
Huh.
Guys, I get in front of you. About to be getting on the C Street ferry here, guys, in about 15 minutes at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in to the Bucket Boy News 401. How is everybody doing today?
It's the kicker.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Go to say another thing. All right.
All right, you want to fast forward a little bit?
Got you.
His niece. My little cousin, as you can say.
Oh, wait, Bucket, you see this?
Just waiting the board.
Oh, pause it.
See.
Hold on. Did you see what the Burford just did?
54%. Was that the vote?
He went to Bucket. He did exclamation point Bucket. You see the Bucket?
Oh, I see that.
And look what shows up, Bucket. Read that. See that?
You should be honored, Mr. Bucket.
Should be, but he's an ungrateful piece of shit on mute right now. No one can hear what he's saying.
Wow. I'm sitting there talking to myself.
So if you go in my chat anytime you want and do what Murph is now flooding my chat with, exclamation point Bucket, it says, here's the kicker, follow Bucket Boy here. With your and it has your channel page on it.
Nice.
I have the same thing for exclamation point Oak. If you put exclamation point Oak, his channel actually shows up. I'm going to make the mods jobs a lot easier.
Yes,
Officer Oak here.
Some of these chats, it's just everything's just flying by.
Yeah, the channels are long. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a pretty good idea.
Street ferry to go to Newport, Rhode Island from Providence, Rhode Island today. I couldn't make it out to Boston because I'm hearing the weather is bad out there. I was supposed to leave what I seen on the weather report from Boston. I'm medically exempt. Yes, I got a doctor's note and everything.
Here's the kicker.
Yes, I can. According to the ADA, I don't have to show you because it's a HIPAA violation. No, according to the Rhode Island Commission of Human Rights. The Rhode Island Commission of Human Rights and the ADA told me I don't have to show my doctor's note because it's a HIPAA violation to the company. And I am medically exempt, so I can't take the bus or anything I agrees to. I have a ticket to go on this. I will proceed to ride. She already okayed me. She already okayed me.
Oh,
I have it on camera, miss. I have it. I'm standing right here the whole time. That's my family. That's my family. I'm still 6 feet.
Just pause it for a sec. Sorry. Pause it. Yeah, I just gotta.
I have it on nobody. I have a camera.
Pause it.
I don't have to. I'm medically exempt.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I'm medically exempt.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think a lot of the issue with that, when you say that you're medically exempt, you don't have to show anything. In the current environment and condition that we're in right now, there are people like these Karens that you see that are saying that they don't want to and don't have to. So now people are making up stuff. So not that she's calling you a liar. It's just that you don't. There's no proof of that condition. And he's on mute. He's not even talking. I can't even hear him.
He's always on mute.
I'm just okay. Go ahead with the video. I'm just saying, like, it's not that he's being called a liar. It's just I don't think that she believes him of the condition without some substantial evidence and proof.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
Okay. He's gabbing on about something.
You're on mute, my guy. Nobody's agreeing with you because no one can hear you.
I said, but the thing is, in the United States of America here, we have a thing called HIPAA.
Yes, I know
which
that.
is a medical, which is a Medical Privacy Act. So nobody's allowed to violate that if they're not a medical professional.
Right, but at the same time, under the current condition, people are paranoid. It's not that they don't believe you. It's just that you don't.
I hear that.
Pardon?
No, I hear where you're coming from, but it's just like not IDing yourself to a cop who's been suspected of committing a crime.
Okay, but all right now, if it's based on privacy, this proof that's required, or that you still got to keep the privacy on the condition that you have. All you need is a little card laminated that says, "I am medically exempt from such and such," and it's issued by your local government or local whatever, right? That says, "I'm medically exempt." There's no reasons needed, no discussion on what the condition is and whatever else.
I have that statement by the chief of right here in my pocket too. Oh shit, where'd my cards go? Oh, right here too. But for the written part of the situation, I got 2 letters here from the chief legal counsel.
I got it here. Let me show you what I have here.
Right. Okay, but a letter can be pretty much faked a lot easier than a card can be. That's issued by the government.
It's a lot more legit card.
Like a legit card, like a driver's license,
right?
Which has got proper scan codes and barcodes and whatever in it. That's all it needs is something like that.
There's nothing like that out here for us.
You can make it
like that for us either. But if this is where, if you were to petition for something like that, like equivalent.
It's bad enough because the doctor's note wasn't signed.
You can go to Vistaprint.
East Providence told me that my doctor's note wasn't valid because it wasn't signed.
Okay, but anybody can sign that. Like what you need is an official card,
right?
Like equivalent to a driver's license.
It has to have it. They already told me it has to have either my doctor's signature on it or the NPH number.
Right. So why don't you expand this further when you talk to your counsel? Like the people that have legitimate, say, service dogs. It's the same kind of deal. You have an official card. You don't have to expose any private information on that card as far as what the conditions are of why you have it, but just to state that you are allowed to do whatever that is. In your case, not wear the mask. In other people's case,
yeah, but once you edit this whole thing too, and watch how it ends up.
Take it to the council.
Due to my doctor at Thunder Mist.
Looking for the mask.
No.
So you guys can see. I will show them what they want me to show them the doctor's note. That is a violation against the ADA and the Commission of Human Rights.
I offer to show it to her too.
Hey Bobby, hold this phone just like this at me. Keep it on me. Keep it on me. Guys, as you can see, I'm about to show my doctor's note, which is a violation to HIPAA. And according to the ADA and the Commission of Human Rights, I don't have to show a business my doctor's note. But here we go, guys. If I have to show them this doctor's note, I will. Want to see my note, miss? Here's a note signed by a doctor. Now you're refusing to see a note signed by a doctor. No, because you're causing me an embarrassment issue right now. You're embarrassing me. Am I all set, miss, to proceed on my ride? Thank you very much, miss. Have a good day. And that's how you hold your ground, guys. So for we the people in the United States
See
of
what I'm
America.
saying? One employee said you're all set, don't worry about it. The other employee's holding an issue. Having a fucking orgasm over it.
You can't refuse service. You can't refuse service due to a medical exemption. That's a lawsuit.
Murphy, try that again.
To refuse service due to a medical exemption is a lawsuit. Miss, am I still okay to go? Am I still okay to proceed? I already said I'll show my doctor's note because she wants me to. That's a violation already against HIPAA.
Laura, can you?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
didn't see that link. Can you post that again, Laura?
Well, I've been standing right there in that corner this whole time with no issues. That's my family right there. So, yeah, 6 feet's fine. Social distancing. I agree with that. No problem, miss. I got you. No disrespect here. Thank you, miss. I don't have to. It's a good. I got you. I got you. No, they can't refuse me service. Commissioner of Human Rights already said it. ADA's already said it. Carl Lewis Mercedes from Commission of Human Rights. Call him up Monday morning. I got a doctor's note. Can you please view it? It's signed and everything by a doctor. Here you go. Please view it. That's refusing service due to a medical exemption, which is discrimination. Yes, sir.
He complains about being on video, but there was no need for anybody to be on video till they caused the scene.
Okay. But there wasn't, I already got okayed by her. I already explained it to her respectfully. The only reason why I'm being loud and proud right now, sir, is because the lady friend over there is the one that made an issue, embarrassed me, caused it to become an issue after I already went through her already once and explained it calmly and respectfully as I was walking in. And then your friend over there, your employee over there, embarrassed me by, oh, let me see a doctor. I don't have to do the HIPAA violations according to the Commission of Human Rights. So here it is right here if you would like to view it.
You don't have to videotape either. Because
I'm not videotaping you. I'm just
videotaping.
Right. You guys came into the camera. I can come. Thank you very much. I'll keep calm. And I'll keep my 6 feet away.
Right.
That's no problem. 6 feet, no problem. I'm just letting you know those three are my family members. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day, sir. I don't need it. Huh? You said I don't need it.
Hey, yeah, but you get it. You don't.
What's going on, guys? As you can see, that was me standing my ground for the people of the United States of America as activists in the state of Rhode Island as well. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. I'm going to show a video. You want to go first, Matrix? You want me to do a video?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you want me to show a video from Laura sent how to assert your ADA facts concerning compulsory mask orders? You want me to play that for you, Bucket?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Yes, can I just finish this?
You already finished it.
Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker with him. No, here's the kicker.
Okay.
Okay.
Here is the kicker. What? This is where I own everybody at that department right now. Here is the main kicker.
Oh, wait.
That might have
Thank you.
Have a good day, sir.
Where you going?
I already got told I was okay.
By who?
By the guy right there, the white mask that was just talking to me over there.
Hang on a second. I'm going to
Yep. Have a good day.
Where do you think you're going?
I already got permission by your employee, so you're harassing me now.
Oh.
Thank you, and I refuse service. Stand your ground, folks, for we the people, as the Bucket Boy News 401 does. What's going on with the battery?
There you go.
Okay. Mr. Bucket, I just want to give you a couple pieces of advice on something here. As you're trying to change this situation and whatnot, as you go through the different ranks and channels and people and whoever else you're talking to, number one, never lose your cool with anybody. Okay? Talk always rationally, logically. Okay? You didn't do that there. I didn't say you did it there. But as you're trying to change everything,
yes.
Stay cool, stay calm, be a logical person, have everything, written down ahead of time, about your case, right? And keep a written record of who you've spoken to, when you've spoken to, but I mean, because as you talk to people, and if you remain calm, it doesn't matter if they lose their cool. Don't you lose your cool.
Right.
Let them lose their cool, because then they will lose at the end of the day, because your case will be a lot stronger in that case.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, Bucket, you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
I'm going to try to make this a little shorter video. I just did a 7-minute one. I had several edits in it, and I can't really edit right now. The Mac that I was using to edit with is down. I need a new one, and I can't afford one. So I'm doing this on a phone. I am a certified Americans with Disabilities Act advocate through John Jay College of Criminal Justice. The information I'm about to give you is protected under 42 U.S. Code 12203, which protects me as a protected class because I'm aiding and encouraging people who want to exercise their rights under the ADA. If you have a disability that precludes you from wearing a mask, what is a disability? It's a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more life activities. I'm going to tell you right now, 6 months have come and gone since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 as a pandemic. So now we have COVID-19 as a disability. Okay, it's a disability all on its own. COVID-19 and the measures that they are putting in place to supposedly slow it down or mitigate it or whatever, those are actually disabilities as well, because they are physically and mentally impairing people and substantially limiting one or more major life activities. So if you have a disability that precludes you from wearing a mask, here are the words to say under the Americans with Disabilities Act to invoke your rights and preserve your rights. I am a qualified individual with a disability. I am requesting reasonable modification of your policies and procedures because I am precluded, because of my disability, from wearing a mask. And if they don't give you the opportunity to enter the store in a modified way, such as with someone who's going to help you socially distance or whatever, then they're discriminating against you. If they don't offer you a reasonable modification, if they don't allow you to request and receive a reasonable modification, unless they can prove a couple of things that are pretty hard to prove with this COVID-19. So they've already fundamentally altered their process. So they can't say it's fundamental alteration. They can't say undue burden because they have to prove that. So I'm going to give you another way to say it, maybe a little smoother. I am a qualified individual with a disability that precludes me from wearing a mask. I'm requesting reasonable modification so that I can have equal access to your programs and services.
See, Bucket, how the approach is key.
And the thing is, though, I went about it that way at RIPTA. I've gotten the chief legal counsel stating that I'm correct.
Right.
What their policy is, they cannot refuse service no matter what because of that. And I'm still getting.
We're still, like, you and I wouldn't be talking if I called you up yelling at you and calling you a piece of shit. It's all about the approach, isn't it?
Right.
Yes, I've got recorded phone calls and everything on them.
Right, but I'm talking about you at the ferry, you at RIPTA. Not saying you're doing anything wrong, but you always have to look at your approach and say, what can I do better? And I think
also,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just think the tone is very huge. And
Yeah, and also remember, there's probably a good chance that I'm going to just throw the number out there. Probably a good 75% of people aren't familiar with that law. You got to remember that as well.
What Rick is telling me over the last 2 weeks.
So just stating the law, people think you're just some kookhead, right?
Right.
Coming around. So you got to remember that it's not that they're ignorant; they just don't know that particular.
And they want to make sure that you're not taking advantage of this, like a lot of people are.
Yes.
It's a lot like the service animals. They got fucking huskies going to Home Depot now because they have a fake vest on saying they're service animals. So you might be a little a little typecast because of that already as well. Let me continue this.
Is that another form of discrimination?
Is it discrimination?
No, I wouldn't say, because a lot of people aren't fully. Well, first of all, like I said, people aren't fully aware of this.
The DOH, and I'll give you a name from the investigators of the DOH that I met in the Providence Place Mall food court. And El Sancho, you might be familiar with some of the DOH workers in Rhode Island. His name was Jameson Akers.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that they had an issue with an employee from Providence Place Mall because he got up from his seat. He said, "Well, I work for DOH. Where is your mask?" The employee, I said, "I'm medically exempt." And he goes, "Well, why are you getting worked up then?" I said, "Because he keeps asking me for paperwork, and I keep stating I don't have to give him paperwork." DOH turned to him and said he is correct, and then turned it to the employee.
And you know what? I got to be honest. I think that's where a lot of this problem lies. Like, yes, you don't have to show the paperwork because that paperwork then reveals whatever disability and blah, 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 blah you got and the reason why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
But I think it still comes down to, how do you fix the problem? The problem is very simple. The government has to step up and issue like an official driver's license type card that says you are exempt or able to do this particular thing. And it is then eventually will be recognized as official identification to do what you need to do. That's how you need to fix this, I think. Am I off base here? And then you won't have all these other problems running around because you're still not revealing your disability and stuff. You're just saying, I'm allowed to do this because it's official from the government, and the government does their checks, and then it also stems the tide of abuse of the system.
Right.
So go to your bloody counselor and pitch that.
Well, I think the building relationship thing is something that Bucket needs work on.
Of course.
He needs a little bit of work on that. And that's something that we're trying to chisel away at and try to get it to work.
But this is how you fix problems.
Right.
Like I see. I mean, we don't have that problem up here, but it's just I'm just looking at it from an outside perspective here. But there's your problem. Like there's abuse of the system. How do you get rid of the abuse? Well, unfortunately, we need our government. We need official organizations such as them to step in, and instead of just saying, well, I can state this fact, I don't have to show paperwork. Well, now you're going to have all kinds of people running around, like you say, like getting onto airplanes with like goddamn ducks.
Right. So let's try to finish this.
That's ADA lingo.
Well, yeah.
I teach people how to do this all day long. So if they won't let you in, document it. If you're afraid they're not going to let you in, there are apps that you can put on your phone to record in the background. And you don't even have to have your phone pointing towards them or whatever. It'll make sure you're in a state that is a one-party consent state. Texas is a one-party consent state. And the governor's order allows for ADA modifications. There are some mayors here that are issuing orders that do not allow for ADA modifications. They actually say something like, if they can prove that there's substantial risk to them, then they don't have to wear a mask. That's anti-ADA. It's actually discriminatory to request someone to prove that they have a disability that precludes them from wearing a mask. If they ask you what your disability is, that's anti-ADA, and it can be a challenge as a discriminatory act. If they ask you to prove what your disability is with paperwork or a doctor's letter or whatever, then that's discriminatory.
Thank you.
If they say you don't have a disability, that's even discriminatory. People are going to abuse this information that I'm giving out.
Right.
Do I care? No. The reason I don't care is because society doesn't give a damn about people with invisible disabilities. Congress, when they passed the ADA, didn't give any funding to the ADA, so there's been no incentive since 1990 to actually fully comply with the ADA. So Congress doesn't care. So do I care if someone abuses this information and says they have a disability when they really don't? No, I don't care. I do have documented disabilities that preclude me from wearing a mask, more than one. But
there you go.
I am aware that just like the service animal thing, people are going to abuse this, and I don't give a fuck. Go assert your rights under the ADA.
Thank you, Mr. Old
You
Man.
need help? Call me. I'm available as a professional.
What did you call him, Mr. Old Man?
I don't know his name.
ADA advocate. So there you go.
So you got options. The law's on your side.
It is. Yeah, you've got options, but you got also options to.
I want to call him. Is there a number? Does he give it to us?
Doesn't look like it.
ADA vet advocacy at gmail.com.
How'd you get it?
Oh, hold up. ADA vet. I'm emailing it right now.
All right. ADA vet advocacy at gmail.com.
Well, I agree with him except for on one point. He says everybody go assert your rights, and but then that's in itself. Abuse. People can take advantage of that. That aren't actually under the system.
Well, like he said too, though, the ADA's been taking advantage of since the 1900s because there's been no funding.
One more time, Bucket.
ADAVET ADVOCACY at gmail.com.
All right.
I'm
So
Jason.
go out there and
I'm a
change it.
certified ADA advocate.
Make a positive
I'm Jason.
change, Bucket Boy.
I'm a certified ADA advocate under John Jay College.
Yeah, I told Bucket, I said, I don't mind fucking with you. I don't mind helping you, but we can't be a joke.
No, you got to make this serious. You got to make sure that you're on the money.
And I might have got into a little bit of that with him as well. That went a little too far with getting him to do stupid shit as well. So I kind of wear that guilty as charge on me as well as a man.
Yeah, we're not perfect, but
did you get what I said when I see you jump into my panel tonight?
Yes.
I said to everybody, I said, we may not have said I'm sorry to one another. We may not have used those exact words, but we still were able to come to conclusions.
Well, yeah.
Yes, we both were in a fucked up situation. You trying to stick up for somebody that you really thought was sincere,
right?
Which at the end of the day you found out wasn't,
right?
And see where I was coming from, and not giving a fuck,
right? And also, like the CFW thing, I don't know how well aware you were with the whole CFW thing on my channel getting shut down and everything briefly, but the one thing that was sorely lacking between me and her was communication. And I think that's the same thing between you and me. If we talked a month ago, it would have been great. But getting through to have that one-on-one Where are you coming from? Or where I'm coming from? Where can we see this and move forward with it? Is always something we as
it was hard to get through.
We as humans are severely lacking in that department as far as communication skills and accountability. Like I'm never going to be like, yeah, you know what? I was a perfect angel going after Bucket Boy. I'm never going to say that. That's bullshit. You know,
human beings are inherently flawed. That's it's very simple. But Mr. Bucket Boy, you have a chance. Actually, I see an opportunity for you to be an advocate for some positive change through the ADA. If you do it right.
Me too.
Just with just a
That's
couple
what I'm
ideas.
trying to say. And Josh this morning, when he went on to News Now 702's panel, before Josh even got onto the panel, fucking was, I'm a real advocate. Because I get arrested from these cops and then go fight for my rights and then sue them and da-da-da-da-da. Well, the fact of the matter is, where the fuck is he getting all the retainer money from?
Well, that's just an idiot. Just getting yourself arrested just to fight. No, you don't have to get arrested to fight any of this stuff.
That's what I'm showing right here in this situation. You don't have to put yourself in a locked up situation to fucking have to fight for your rights.
Me and Bucket, we've been talking off the record for a couple weeks. It just hasn't been a day in the making. There's been some feelers sent out both ways, and no hard feelings. I mean, I've never mentioned you on my channel up until you came on tonight. It was one of those things where you did the same with me. Yeah, and it was there's nothing about you on my channel. Everything. Well, there is here's the kick a sound clip because I fucking love that, and I'll always play that no matter what. like if I could put it in the intro, you being my Howard Lee Finkel, ladies and gentlemen, here's the kicker. Give it up for El Sancho live. That'd be great. But I will always try to steal the kicker. But everybody knows that I do the best impression of Bucket Boy out there. And that's just the bottom line. But I do agree with him. I think if your passion meets your professionalism, you will be a force to reckon with in society.
Actually, yeah, stay professional with this as you go for the change.
He's passionate. His passion level's through the roof.
But keep it calm, keep it cool, be professional about it.
That's all professional. Calm, cool. Yeah.
You know what? If you've got, do you know a lot of people with disabilities?
Yeah.
You do. Why don't you, put together the whole concept of making this change? For example, you don't have to use the idea, but just with a driver's license card idea that has been discussed, or some idea like that, and put it together and go out there and petition the idea with everybody, including people with disabilities. And then you take that to the next step and go to your counselor and say, look, the people would like something like this. What can we do? What can you do for me? What can you do for us? Right? And you put it in his hands or her hands. State that question. You say, what can you do for us? And then you let them answer. Shut up and let them talk after that.
Right, that's big. Shut up, let him talk. But the big thing with him is he's got two kind of groups that are going to be attracted to his message if he's professional about it.
Right.
The first group is the ADA group with the medical disabilities.
Yes.
Prove that a disability means nothing. It doesn't mean they're disabled. It means absolutely nothing. And they're just on the same level as we are. There's nothing holding them back. And number two, there's a lot of motherfuckers who hate this mask. They don't have a health condition. They just hate the mask in general. If Bucket Boy creates a t-shirt where the mask is in a bucket with his channel name on it, I think people would buy that t-shirt.
Yeah, that's another.
Yo.
And then you take that money to help with this cause to change society's way of dealing with all this, because it's clear that even with this, I don't have to, I have this disability, so therefore you must comply. It's never gonna. It's not gonna hold water for much longer. Like honestly, like the way things are these days, you need something like that in your pocket that you can whip out and say, hey, look, this is official business. On you go. You know?
You need to expect resistance, but kill them with kindness.
Yeah, that works.
You're going to get resistance, but you're going to have to respond in a better professional manner. Listen, I can understand why you think that way. This pandemic is out of control. May I just give you a piece of paper to look at? I don't want to be confrontational. I don't want to cause a conflict, nor do I want to cause a scene. I just want to be treated with the same love and respect and rights as everybody else.
Yeah.
Ooh, Bucket.
We're giving you some good advice here, buddy.
Go ahead.
You know what?
I hear you.
That's what you need to do. But if there's a way to capitalize on it, I mean, F your mask would be an awesome t-shirt. Right. And the millions of people who don't want to wear a mask would probably participate in it as well. And if some of the proceeds go to one of your favorite charities, you know which one I'm thinking about, we can actually legit raise money for charity on this channel, unlike the other channel pretending like they were doing it.
Okay, can I got to say something about this. All right, the mask situation. We need to look at it this way. We have to look at, you know, the way things are now with how integrated our society is, how global our society is when it comes to diseases and viruses and whatnot. If we get into the habit of having to wear a mask during a pandemic, for example, like this, because this is not going to be the last pandemic we're going to come across in society. Right. If we get into the habit of just having it become part of an everyday thing,
right,
as much as we may not like it, then the next time this happens, it won't be such a big deal because everybody just whips out their mask and, you know, on we go, right? But if we continue to resist wearing the mask, we're going to be in the same bloody situation we are now, where the people are losing jobs and people are dying left, right, and center. And, you know, I mean, we have to look at it that way as well. I'm sorry, but I'm just the way I see it.
Right. All right, Bucket. Any final message? I'm going to get off, and
right. Yeah, it's getting late, eh?
I got Portland, Oregon coverages right now to go to. So we're going to go live from Portland in a little bit with coverage with Adam Costello live from Portland. So what else do you guys have on your mind before we wrap up?
No, that was good.
Nothing. Please like, share, and subscribe to El Sancho. Hit the bell, select all. Please like, share, subscribe to the Bucket Boy News.
I have
one. Hit the bell, select all for all recent notifications. And stuck into the YouTube matrix. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Oh, it was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come in.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to El Sancho Live. I'll be back.
Thank you again, my man, for letting me out tonight, and thank you for talking to me in the backfield and making amends.
I appreciate you and look forward to your journey and it being a very successful journey, my man. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah.